people that are all the time positive are not being honest, and people that are all the time negative and also not being honest, because it is impossible to be like that. There has to be something that you like, or there has to be something that you dislike. Hey guys, I have this video here that is from Path of Exile 2 clips that, you know, they make these videos where they put clips from several creators, but in reality the clip that I want to watch is the first one from Pox. I did recently the PoE 2 bad takes tier list, and on there I put a little clip from Pox, but it was taken out of a longer clip, which is this one, and he says some stuff in here that I want to talk about, so that is why I decided to react to the full clip. Let's do it, dude.
I also genuinely think that there's a weird split here, because I don't like if the campaign takes 20 hours, but if I'm only going to make one character for the league and it takes me 20 hours, whatever, I'm done with it, and I'm going to play the character till I'm bored, and then I stop playing. No, I really wouldn't. I consider myself having far more time than the average. I feel like the only reason you played Huntress, or the only reason you had fun in PoE 2 is because you played Huntress. It's not balanced at all. Sure, but when I was playing Huntress, right? When I was playing Huntress, everyone else was bitching about Huntress. So
this is completely true, by the way. Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this, dude? Just click the sub button. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub win-win situation. Just click the sub button, my dude. You guys know that since I am creating content for PoE 2, I try, of course I can't see everything, but I try to be on top of what is happening, right? It is true that Pox was playing Huntress with the Twisters first, and then he swapped up to Lightning Spear. Before people knew that Lightning Spear was broken, before people was saying that Huntress and Lightning Spear was OP. In fact, the very first few days that the patch came out, people said or thought that the Huntress sucked dick. And that is one of the reasons why the patch was badly received, because people were saying that Huntress suck, right? They weren't having fun playing Huntress. They felt the abilities were weak. They thought that the parry mechanic sucks, because it does. Nobody wants to parry, okay? So people were very negative about the Huntress before they found that Lightning Spear was OP as fuck, which it was OP, and they buffed it, by the way. So that is one of the reasons why it is so broken. And I do remember Pox playing Huntress before people said that it was good, was playing it when people said it sucked, and he still was having fun. I started the league with a Mercenary, and I was having fun. In fact, that is one of the things that I had to self-reflect. Because if you go and watch my videos from the start of the patch, of the start of the league or whatever, I was very positive about the patch. I still am, but let me explain better. And I didn't understand why people were being negative towards the patch, because I was having fun, right? So since I was having fun, I didn't understand how other people couldn't have fun. Why are you guys not having fun? I am having fun, dude. So then I self-reflected and I said, dude, since I am having fun, I am kind of dismissing other people's experiences, right? I shouldn't do that. I should take into consideration what they are experiencing and look at it. So I did, and I started to see some of the stuff that you guys say about the patch. And I am happy that GGG has addressed some of the stuff. Of course, we know that we have the big elephant in the room, that is the loot. But what I am trying to say with all of this is that I was positive about the patch, the same as Pox was initially. But we still, of course, have problems with the game, stuff that we have to point out that the game is doing wrong. And I learned through this, and I hope I can apply it in my future as a content creator, that I shouldn't dismiss the perception that the community has towards a patch or a release or a league or whatever. Because if I am having fun, I shouldn't dismiss the people that are not having fun. And the contrary is going to probably be true at some point. That there is a patch that is well received, but I don't like it. Then I also should hear the perception that the community is having and not dismiss their feedback. And by the way, the person or the group of people that should do this the most is GGG. GG shouldn't, absolutely shouldn't diminish or dismiss the perception that the community has about the patch, right? And I've said before, I have no problem being wrong. Like, okay, I like the patch, but if the vast majority of people think that the patch sucks, GG should absolutely step in and fix it, even if it goes against my own personal taste, because utilitarianism, right? The benefit of the community is more important than the benefit of one person, in this case, me.
That's not really a fair statement. They have children, wives, husbands, other hobbies, life, and work. Yeah, but like the point is,
I do too. Not children, but brother, I work, I am creating content, I am busy all the time. I don't play the game as much as I'd like or as you think I play. In fact, I don't play the game as much as people that don't create content, you know. In fact, creating content takes away gaming time from me. So what I am trying to say with that is that this argument that if you are busy, you won't enjoy the patch or the game or whatever, I don't think it's necessarily true for everybody, because again, I have little time to play the game, but the time that I do have to play it, I do enjoy it a lot. And I know that maybe I am pissing people off that hate the patch because I am defending it. But again, I am defending it for myself. If you think the patch sucks dick, I have been talking a lot about the parts that suck dick about the patch and about the game in general, so that GG steps in and fix it, because it is early access. So it is fine if we like it. If we don't like it, it is fine. This is not a war. This is a community effort for GG to make the game better, right?
if I wasn't a streamer, I know you guys don't believe me, but I like when games are difficult. I like when games are scarce. I like when everything is against you and you have to find your way to like do stuff. If I could make
that is based, and since I am seeing that he's playing Last Epoch, I don't know if he's talking about that because of this. But I have seen a lot of, again, as I told you, I watch a lot of videos and stuff about the community. And you know that a lot of the PoE2 community right now is playing Last Epoch. Because let's be honest, it is like, it is not only the PoE2 community, but it's the larger ARP community, right? That we like these types of games. Yes, I am going to include Diablo 4, Last Epoch, PoE1, PoE2. I am really excited about Tyrant Quest 2 that is coming, stuff like that, right? So I have seen a lot of people playing Last Epoch or whatever, and one complaint, I'll be honest, I created a character, I got to level 4, and I Alt F4, and I went back to PoE2. I am not saying this because I think Last Epoch is bad. No, I think Last Epoch is fucking awesome. I love the game. I think it's cool. It is just that I like PoE2 more, dude. And I know that it might be an unpopular opinion. If you like Last Epoch more, dude, do what you think is the most fun for you. That is what you should be doing. Fine. I am doing the same. I like PoE2 more, so I Alt 4 and went back to PoE2, right? So I am only level 4 in Last Epoch. But the thing that I have heard people saying, I didn't experience it myself this time around. I did play Last Epoch until late until end game, when the game actually launched the first time around. But this time I didn't experience it much. But one of the complaints that people are having is that the game is too easy. So you understand where I am going with this. He's saying that he likes when the game is challenging. People were saying that PoE2 is too punishing. But with Last Epoch, people, some people, not everybody, again, not everybody, but there is a group of people, I have seen videos about this, are complaining that the game is too easy, that there is no challenge, that you breeze through the game at every step of the game. This complaint was also had with Diablo 4 in Season 6 and 7. And in fact, the next season they are going to release Season 8 that is coming next week, I believe so. It is going to be supposedly harder because people don't like it when the game is too easy. I am not saying that this means that the overly punishing aspect of PoE2 is good. What I am trying to say is that as Thanos said, it should be balanced, as everything should be, right? If it is too easy, people don't like it because you are not being challenged. You are not engaged with the content. You don't care. You are thinking about whatever. If it is too punishing, then you get frustrated and you are not having fun. The middle ground is what we should try to accomplish. You are challenged, but you should be able to overcome this challenge and feel good about it. That is fun. And I truly believe that is what GGG wants to accomplish, at least in the campaign. Maybe in the pinnacle, ultra pinnacle content, they want it to be punishing on purpose. I don't know. But at least in the campaign, I do believe that they want it to be challenging, engaging, but doable. And we know this is true because the very first time you do the campaign, okay, it is a pain in the ass. But when you know what to do, it is easy, right? So this big old rant is just saying that for the people that were advocating for the game to just be a cakewalk and just blast through everything and not care because that is fun, this is the proof that that is not fun. Or maybe it is fun, but it is not the most fun it can be. Because the most fun it can be is being a challenge that you can overcome. Not a cakewalk that you are not overcoming anything, or not a challenge so big that you can't overcome, right? That is the target we should aim to hit, and I truly believe GG is trying to hit it, failing, but trying. At some points, they do hit it, but at some points, they miss.
Make PoE 2 last 2 months for me and have fun doing it, I would, right? Because I play games all the time and I go through them so quickly. Now I agree, if you don't like the campaign and you're not having fun going through, then yeah, that's a completely different story, right? They were bitching about other builds. No, you really should watch my day one stuff, man. I'm not trying to shit on anyone. I did not struggle parrying. I tried all different types of skills.
This is also true, and I didn't want to outright say it at some point because it feels, I don't like the argument get good. I don't like that argument. I don't like it. If you have seen, maybe I have said it sometimes being like for fun, like joking around. But like being serious and saying to somebody, no, you should get good and that way you will enjoy the game. I don't like that argument because the game has to be fun even if you are not good, right? It is the job of the developer to make the game fun. I don't like the argument get good. But it is true that for me personally, I didn't struggle with the campaign and people were saying they were struggling. Again, as I said earlier, it surprised me. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I am having fun, I am killing everything. I felt the campaign was the same as in Season 1. Maybe it is in part because I had completed the campaign in Season 1 18 times and I already know what to do. That is like the campaign nerfs itself by knowledge. When you know what to do, it is easier, right? But I didn't want to say, oh, you are not having fun because you don't know what to do, or because I don't like that argument. But what I am trying to say with this is that if I said at some point that again, the same argument, that I was not finding problems, that I thought that the campaign was easier, whatever, it is because that was my experience. As Fox is saying here, he didn't have any problems either.
I didn't even end up playing Lightning Spear until later into the campaign because it was...
Oh, and I started with a mercenary, not with a huntress. I played crossbows. Maybe that also was part of why my experience was better. Maybe crossbows are just better at 2 level, and that is why it was good. I don't know.
Wasn't viable right away. In fact, GGG buffed Lightning Spear because of how much negativity people had about Huntress skills across the board. And so they buffed Lightning Spear because the people who were giving feedback said Lightning Spear shit. That's not my fault. That's the community for overreacting before giving it a chance. Do you
Yep.
know why? I'll tell you, don't type anything. Because the problem with PoE 2's campaign right now is the character progression. You need to go so far into the campaign before you get access to game-changing support gems. And the reason that's a problem is people will try a skill, they'll try the skill with a recommended support gem, and it doesn't feel good, so they stop.
I agree completely with Pox in this. I think they are too afraid to give us power early in the campaign. I do think it is because they are doing it on purpose to slow us down, so we feel this curve in power when we actually get access to the things, right? But I do think that you can give me a little something without breaking the game. Because I do agree in part what you are trying to do, which is kind of don't give me too much power too early, so I destroy the campaign. By the way, you can just return the campaign to the new found power and make it more fun. But let's just say that it is at the same power level, right? Or a little bit more powerful. But you give me stuff that is not game changing but makes the game feel better. Like, give me the third slot for support gems earlier. Like, you give me the very first one in the Act 3. Like, I have been playing the game for a long time before I get to Act 3. Another thing that you can do is start dropping support gems for the second level, support gems 2, earlier too. Like, we start getting the level 3 support gems too late. I don't think this would break the game. And also another thing that you can do is lower the requirements in levels for the skills. Like, there are skills like Hammer of the Gods that you have to be level 30 something, 40 something, I don't remember the level, but you have to be a lot leveled up to even try for the first time this skill. I am not going to level up a character until level 40 just to find out if I like this skill. That is stupid. So you are trolling me a lot. And on top of that, the complaints that people have been saying about loot, right? But I want to focus right now on things that are in what he's saying, the character progression in terms of your gems and the skills you have access to, you know. So I do think they can make the game more fun earlier without sacrificing this slow engagement that you get at the start and you go ramping up. Because I do think it is cool, but I do agree that it feels too slow because basically in Acts 1 and 2, you feel the same. You feel stuck. There should be a jump from Act 1 to Act 2 in what you get, right? Like, if you get the thing for the third slot for the support gems that you get in Act 3, but you get it at the start of Act 2, I think the game would feel better. Or if you give me access to support gems too, at that point, or you take the thing for Act 3 to Act 2 and you give me the next support gems in Act 3, then it might feel better too. Like, make the progression smoother, because right now you feel like you are not getting much power until you are in Act 3 or get to Cruel, and then you start ramping up and then you get out of control. Like, this progression needs to be smoother, in my opinion.
Stop using the skill, and that's not the player's fault. That's GGG's fault for the way support gems are integrated in. That's the problem, right? If you could get Volt as your first support gem, nobody would bitch about Huntress. Why? Because you would put Volt on, throw your lightning spear, and you'd be like, bro, why is this thing decimating everything? Because of the Volt support gem. Lightning spear is OP because of Volt, right? That's where the big issue is. As a guy who's played a bunch of PoE 1 and as a guy who loves when games are difficult, I had fun trying out all these different things. But that's not for everyone, because as we said before, not everyone has the time. Not everyone has the desire. Not everyone even has the support gems to try them, especially on day one. But people like me, it's great for that. But I agree, the campaign is too long, right? For the average player, I completely agree. They have shortened it. Zones should not be mazes. That's my biggest issue. I don't think zones should be fucking mazes.
I agree with this, by the way. I didn't mind originally, and you guys know this, that the zones are big, but what I do mind is that they are mazes, that they are labyrinths, that you have too many dead ends and you waste time. So I did agree with GG's perspective on this. They said the problem is not that the map is too big, it's that there is nothing to do in them. I agree with you. The map feels too big because there is nothing to do in them, dude. You are just walking, and doing nothing. A lot of people say, no, that is not true. The map is too big because it is too big. Okay, I can agree with that. I am fine if they make them smaller. I am not going to die on this hill. I honestly don't care. But I am saying that it is true that the zones felt too big because there is nothing there, and you walk through a path, and then you get to a dead end, and then you have to go back, and it is too long. It is a pain in the fucking ass. And I'll be honest, I think the campaign won't feel as long when we get access to the remaining acts. Right now, the campaign feels like it is too long because we have to do cruel. I'll be honest, guys, I know it is a placeholder. I know I shouldn't complain about this because it isn't going to be like this. It is going to get fixed, of course. This is just temporary. But I hate with a passion repeating the campaign in cruel. I don't mind, and I have a video talking about this, I don't mind doing the campaign with a new character. And I started from scratch with the campaign. I think that is the way to go. I think skipping campaign like Diablo 4 does is a mistake. But at the same time, I don't want to do Act 1 to 3, Act 1 to 3 back to back. It feels terrible. It feels stupid. I know it is not the intended way. I know it is not going to be like that. But I am saying that it is one of the reasons why right now the campaign feels too long, too boring, it feels bad. But the very first time that you do the first 3 acts, I think it is fucking awesome. It is probably the best part of the game, right? So when we have the full campaign, I think it will feel better. And plus, at that point, they are going to probably address a lot of the pain points that we are having with character progression through the campaign. Or let's hope that they do that. So yes, that was the part of the clip that I wanted to share with you guys, with Pox talking about this, precisely about this, because I wanted to just to talk with you about the general sentiment about the game, about how things went down when the patch released, about my own bias, if you want to say it that way, when the patch released. Again, I told you in the video about the backtakes where I feature this clip, my perspective about not only this patch but the game in general and GGG is that I like the game. I think the game is going in a great direction. I am positive about everything, and man, I am betting on the game doing good because I am doing a lot of videos for this shit. I completely turned my channel into a Path of Exile 2 channel. It is because I believe in the game. I wouldn't be wasting time on just focusing on this game if I didn't think the game is going to have a future, because it would be jeopardizing my own future, right? So I do believe in the game and I am positive towards it. But of course, I am going to complain about the problems I see in the game. So if you are still here, I am saying this because you are going to find videos where I am going to be positive towards the game, and you are going to find videos when I am going to be negative about the game. Because that is how this shit works. I am going to praise the W's and criticize the L's. I am going to say what is good. I am going to say what is bad. I am going to say what I like. I am going to say what I dislike. I think that people that are all the time positive are not being honest, and people that are all the time negative and also not being honest, because it is impossible to be like that. There has to be something that you like, or there has to be something that you dislike, right? So this video for me was just like an opportunity to talk about all of this, how I feel towards the game right now, and relating it to the launch of the season, why it was hard, why it was easy, what can be done to improve it. I do think that GGG has to take into consideration the feedback of the community, but not necessarily do what people want them to do. Just take into consideration the feedback and take the necessary steps so that things improve. I have yapped a lot. I am sorry. I am liking 10 different tangents, throwing shit at every point. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. I hope this is, I don't know, worth it somehow, because what I want, the real purpose of this is strengthening the community, right? Make people that are overly negative towards the game understand the people that are positive about the game and make people that are overly positive about the game understand the people that are negative towards the game, understand that we both have good points and we should be listening to the other side, and again creating a big strong community of PoE 2 plus PoE 1 players and create a big ecosystem, big community of PoE enjoyers. That is what I want to happen. That is what I try to do. I know it is impossible and it is not going to happen, but hey, if at least in this channel, in this community, we can make it happen, that would be fucking awesome, dude. So yes, let me know in the comments below what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.